Recording is on.
Yo. Welcome to another edition of the Geeky Bros Podcast. I'm your boy Tactix.
Yo, it's just Darcy here.
This is Big Geek Umar. How y'all doing today?
Good.
Doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good.
How about a little bit more life in that?
No, I knew you were going to say that. I knew it. That's my job, motherfucker.
I'm good.
I'm chill, bro. I'm real good. I'm happy that the weather is better. So, yeah, man, things are looking good.
Thank God for that. We sweat.
I know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm definitely sweating.
Well, let's get into we got a lot of geeky news to get through today. So let's get into it. So earlier this week, we got some pretty interesting information that there's going to be a new Batman animated series and Superman animated series. Now, Batman, let's start with him. It's going to be run by Bruce Timm. He was one of the pillars of the original Batman animated series, Superman the animated series, Batman Beyond, and Justice League Unlimited. He's like one of those guys. And so he's teaming up with J.J. Abrams, aka the guy from Alias, the creator of Alias, and also Felicity. And also he did, I think it was like Mission Impossible 3. And then he also did, he did the first and last new Star Wars films of the sequel. Not really his best work, but at the same time, there was a lot of like stuff in the background. He's there. The two of them are also being joined with Matt Reeves, who's directing The Batman with Patty Patterson. And
my guy.
That's my boy. So yeah, that's all the information we have so far. It's just those three are going to be the creators of the new Batman animated series. I wanted to ask, what did you guys think of this news?
So before we go on, because my brain was just trying to catch up. So we got, who are all the people helming? Matt Reeves is one, and who are the other two people?
J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
And Bruce Timm.
Yeah, this sounds like an all-star cast, my man. I mean, anyone can screw anything up, of course, right? Like anyone could drop the ball, but I mean, this sounds like a good start.
So you have no reservations?
No, not really. Like, I feel like I though I'm not as like hardcore as say maybe you, Umar, is in terms of like, oh, this writer, that person, and then memorizing everything they do. Because I mean, everyone who watches this or listens to this podcast knows I can barely remember people's names. Okay, but that being said, I mean, so far the little bit we've seen from Matt Reeves shows me that man has good vision when it comes to Batman. Right now, we'll see about execution, but now we're talking about a scenario where he's collaborating with other people. And J.J. Abrams, I overall like what he does. Not everything, but I feel like when he's been put in a situation where he's been able to do what he wants to do to his fullest, I've always liked those properties. And when it's him mixed with a whole bunch of other people, not always that great, right? Kind of like how you have Christopher Nolan executive producing over Zack Snyder. Not exactly a representation of him. You know what I'm saying? And forgive me if I'm wrong on this, but Bruce Timm did the original.
So the original Batman, Superman, Batman Beyond, and Justice League Unlimited, he was one of the main guys in charge. It was Bruce Timm, Alan Burnett, Paul Dini, and I'm forgetting the fourth guy. But like those guys were the executive producers. Like he was one of four.
Yeah. So now you have somebody from the OG clan coming in to help. I mean, like, that's just sounds like a fantastic friggin' start.
All right.
I'm going to leave it there.
How about you, T? What are you thinking so far?
I don't care. I really don't.
No. That is constant.
I look at literally, what do you think? I don't care, man.
Okay, my honest answer is I'm cautiously optimistic about it. Reason being is because while I agree with Darcy, this is an all-star cast. My only fear is that there's too many cooks in the kitchen, too many heads at play kind of thing, and like that could lead to some clashing in terms of the direction, similar to what we saw with Avatar and the guys, the original creators and the whole Netflix thing. So I'm kind of concerned that might happen, because all of these guys are great visionaries in terms of like their body of work and what they've put out, right? And if they all kind of are coming in with their own kind of agendas as to where they want to take it, especially considering that two of these guys are film directors, right? So that element kind of has me intrigued in terms of, because like typically like it's like, why would a film director want to go back and do something lower scale, like, and not to discredit the cartoon or anything, but like something on like a lower caliber, and going into a cartoon production versus just doing another movie property, right? So that kind of has me intrigued in terms of like where they might take it, or like what the big appeal or what the interest is. But at the same time, I'm also cautiously optimistic about so many collaborative heads coming together, and potentially clashing. So, yeah.
You know, it's an interesting thought, but the thing that you said though about like them stepping down their game, I'm kidding, but like the one thing that I kind of think of this is like, one, Matt Reeves has stated very clearly he is a super like Batman fan, right? And specifically that of the detective aspect, right? And J.J. Abrams has always been like on a creative level of just geeky things, right? Like I always think back to, what was the Fox show that he had? I always forget the name, but I can't forget the show. The one where it was like, what's that? No, not Lost. The show where it was uncovering, like it was like an agency of uncovering like unexplainable events, and then you turned out it was like this giant thing. JJ, we all got to Google it right now.
Yeah.
Fox TV show. Fringe.
He did Fringe?
Yeah.
Damn.
He's created by J.J. Abrams and Alex Kurtzman. That's how I knew of J.J. Abrams.
Kurtzman only. Oh shit! I love Fringe.
Yeah. So Fringe is how I first remembered the name J.J. Abrams, and then after that, for me, anyways, then was the Star Trek, the first one, right? That was like that I really loved, and so for me, that cemented me like, oh, J.J. Abrams. This name is like, because it's also super like J.J. was just like, I mean, it's just super memorable, right? And so, for me, that I just kind of feel like, if they're all coming for the right reasons and they're all playing a specific role, like they're not all trying to be like, you know, it's just WB being like, let's just pay a bunch of big people and things are going to be amazing. If it's actually a bunch of creatives coming together and collaborating, and they're like, okay, I'm going to do this part, you're going to do this part, let's build this world that we have a collective vision on. I wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to take the animated world to a higher level. Instead of thinking of them coming backwards, it's like them trying to take something they're in love with and push it up in some kind of way, right? Like add something of film and story to it that, you know, might make it a little more intriguing for a slightly wider audience, not like the mass audience. Let's be honest here. Tons of people will never watch something just because it's hand drawn, but like just try to make it bigger than the stuff that we always get. You know what I mean?
Would you like to see parallels between the animated show and Matt Reeves' The Batman? Or would you want them to both be their separate entity?
I wouldn't want that as like a first, like, oh, that's the ticket. But if there was a genius behind it, right? Like if they wanted to tell the larger Batman story and have the movies play a role, and there was a smart way to do that. But considering it's like the Batman, the animated series kind of being redone, I feel like they should just keep them as two separate things.
So in terms of my opinion on this, I am a little bit on Tactix' side. I'm very cautious in how I feel about this, because yes, I love JJ. Yes, look, I like a lot of JJ's work. I've always liked a lot of his work. He is rather, I am able to see where he's going with a lot of stuff. So he's not subtle, but that's because I've watched literally all his work. I love Matt Reeves. I haven't seen as much of him, but like I trust him. I trust him with the Batman. Bruce Timm is actually someone I am worried about because he kind of's gone off the rails in the last few years. Like he helped doing The Killing Joke and the animated movie, and he was the one who threw in the whole Batgirl sex scene aspect. And I was like, what the fuck was that? And he's progressively become more and more sexualized. Like he's the one who's been making Harley Quinn's outfit more like less as the series has been going on. And I just have been noticing that like he's kind of letting out his perverted side. So I am kind of hoping that JJ and Matt Reeves kind of like they hold that shit together, and he kind of brings his like wealth of knowledge from Batman the Animated Series. In terms of what you guys were saying about having it being connected to the Batman, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if they do what they did with the original series, because the original series came right after Batman, and it was like it had Danny Elfman doing the music, and it was of the same ilk. It wasn't connected. You didn't get it didn't go from like the movie to the animated series, but it still had that same feel. It kind of like carried on the feeling of the film. I'm kind of hoping they do the same thing with this.
It looks like by even the name alone, like I'm just reading more about this, like the Cape Crusader. I feel like there might be what you're saying, the same ilk or however you say that word. ILK. And I agree with you though on the whole like keep Bruce Timm in line, kind of a thing, because I don't know, like the way I would see it, if they're all playing what I think they're good at their strength, it's like Bruce Timm, you're the knowledge, and you have the like the history storyline, like the original show, and things you wish you'd improved and all that kind of stuff, right? And then you have probably like J.J. Abrams bringing a film and larger story. Maybe they're trying to have more interweaving story in some kind of way, and he's going to bring that like fringe level planning into it. And Matt Reeves might just bring the cinematic universe, and he's more coming in to be like, okay, if you're trying to pull from what I'm setting up, then I need to be involved to help you understand that before it happens.
That's my hope. That's exactly, Darcy, what I'm hoping will happen.
Yeah, I mean that's why like the thing that gets me some excitement is that, but like I said at the very beginning, anybody can shit the bed. Yes,
agreed. And to be honest, I think, not to be too pessimistic, but like I think the likelihood is what Tactix is saying is like too many cooks in the kitchen, and shit just like everyone catches on fire.
Ooh, okay. Analogies.
Yeah. So like jumping off, we also at the same day got the information that a new Superman animated series is coming out. It's called My Adventures with Superman, and we, unlike before, we know that Jack Quaid, aka guy from The Boys, he's going to be playing Superman.
Oh, no way!
Yeah, and I know the actress who's playing Lois like barely. Her name is Alice Lee. I know her from Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, and they're basically like a young Superman and Lois Lane, just coming into like the Daily Planet, like just starting work there. And I originally was actually kind of happy with the creative team until I looked into it a little bit more, and then I got kind of worried. So it's going to be with oh god, sorry, I've just lost the page that I was reading off of. So they did Invader Zim, but like not like the actual series, the shortened version that came later. And that page just blanked on me again. What is up with that? I'm always going to a different page. Sorry. Bear with me for 1 second.
Looking
just make up a name, bro.
Got it. Okay, so the creator from Teen Titans Go, that doesn't make me feel better at all.
True.
Invader Zim Enter the Floorpuss. I remember people not liking it. I personally didn't watch it myself.
The what?
The what?
Enter the Floorpuss.
Yeah, it didn't make it better.
FLORPUS.
The floor puss.
I thought it was four puss. I'm like, either way, it's like
highly sexualized.
Yeah. Either it's multiples or it's the bare bottom, but it's either way, it's not good.
I want some floor puss right now, bro.
Yeah, and then I think the animator / creative designs of the people who did Voltron. So I think it's going to be Voltron animation.
Yeah, that doesn't help me at all.
Didn't you watch Voltron? The Legend.
I love Voltron animation, but it doesn't mean I'm going to give something kudos because it looks like something else, you know?
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like this, yay, we get to look at like the thing that I like, but like it doesn't sound like the people behind it are going to be doing it. And yeah, I'm actually really worried for this Superman.
The only thing that I've seen in the headline of this that has any inclination that it might be surprising is that they ordered 2 seasons. Like when you they ordered 2 seasons up front, right? Which means like we saw a little bit of this and we're like, we want it, right? But like, I'm sorry, like Jack Quaid, great for you. I don't see it, right? I want to be surprised, but I don't see it, right? The Voltron animation style, no, this is not the style I want for Superman. It's
interesting.
Like I like Voltron, but not for this. It's not how I see like Superman or DC universe. So for me, it's like I'm looking at this like this first photo, and I'm like, no, I don't like it. And I've liked the new stuff that they just dropped, like the last 2 like movies, the one about Superman and the one about Flashpoint Paradox, and that whole thing they're setting up. Yeah. And for me, that's just, I don't know. This picture just looks like a child's, like you said, like Teen Titans Go cartoon.
That's the part I hate.
A joke.
They're not taking it seriously. It doesn't look like they're taking it seriously.
And that could be fun, but no. Like it just doesn't feel like what I want. Now, I hope to be surprised, like Harley Quinn level surprised.
Agreed.
But overall, I'm like, nah, this looks like some bullshit.
Okay, I'm in agreement with you, Darcy. How about you, T?
It'll be hilarious if like this ends up being way better than the Batman cartoon.
That will be a depressing day. I'm not gonna lie. That'll hurt my feelings.
Yeah,
but I will be happy.
Unless the Batman cartoon is astounding and this is better. You like if this is better and the other one's amazing, we're good. But if
can you imagine if like this Superman is like invincible level good?
Yeah.
Wow.
But you know it's gonna be like invincible level good in the opposite.
Yeah. But like, so sorry, T. What were you saying?
No, I mean, to be honest, I never really cared for the original Superman animated show. Like I probably watched maybe 5 episodes in total. The only one I remember is I wasn't really big into Superman. I wasn't a fan. I was more of a Batman dude, right? So I watched the animated series. The only episode that I can remember is when Superman and Flash race. That's the only episode I can recall from memory.
What about the one where he gets like taken by the Collector and like when he fights Lobo?
Nope. Don't remember that. Oh, I think I saw the Lobo one.
What about when when he and Batman met each other?
That's another one that I saw.
Oh, thank God.
But outside of that, I was never really Superman. I only started to like Superman once I started watching Justice League, and even then, he was always overshadowed by Batman anyway. So. Yeah, like was a big fan of Justice League, big fan of Batman the animated series, obviously Batman Beyond, even the Batman for a bit, but no, not Superman. So this, I mean, I'll still check it out, just because my whole perception on Superman as a whole has changed over the years. But I mean, I care very little for it right now, so whether it's good or bad makes no real difference to me.
That is fascinating. Utterly fascinating. I didn't know that about you, man.
Are you surprised? Are you surprised?
I'm actually
Batman all day, man.
No, I know that, but like, I'm just amazed that you like. Okay, interesting. I thought you just all right.
Yeah, when you're kids, though, like you either like you take everything or you're very selective, right? As you get older, you go the other direction of whatever you started.
It was like Pokemon or Digimon. It was like one or the other for a lot of kids my age, right? So I was Pokemon.
I never actually did.
But I know
either.
some people that were like straight Digimon. They were like, "Yo, fuck Pokemon." But
you know, on that note, like it's been a long time since I truly remember all my feelings. But I remember liking the Digimon show more, but Pokemon was the shit. Like the actual property of Pokemon was better, but Digimon show had more like that drama superhero level, kind of like almost anime level kind of thing going on, which I mean it should be because it's heavily comes from there. But Pokemon was way more like just like Saturday morning cartoon, and by the time the age I was at, Digimon was more like kind of cool.
Yeah. Pokemon was a little more like kiddie friendly adventure type thing. Yeah, and Digimon was a little bit more mature. So yeah, I agree with that.
Oh, and now I'm trying to think of another show. I'm trying to remember back in the day.
All right, well, like
Goosebumps or Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Goosebumps.
What up with it? Oh yeah, Goosebumps.
I don't think I watched either.
Yo.
Yeah, I know you wouldn't have watched it. Yeah.
Umar's so afraid of horror stuff that he can't even watch Goosebumps.
I was a kid. I was like, why would I do this to myself?
I wasn't talking about kid. I'm talking about right now.
Why would I bet you that thing did not age well.
No,
probably did.
No. That was like low budget YTV right there.
Yeah. So moving on to our next topic, another announcement of an animated film coming after the second part of the Long Halloween animated film is the Injustice animated series, The Gods Among Us. Just out of curiosity, did you guys ever play the game or read the comic for this story?
I didn't play the game, but I watched the entire cinematic bits of the game. Because it plays out like a movie. Yeah, so it plays out like an entire movie, like the compilation. So I got the main gist of what was going on in the storyline.
Okay.
And it was fantastic, man. I loved it. I was like, I want to see a movie like this.
Interesting. Darce?
Yeah, it was also one of the ones I tried to watch the majority of the clips. I don't remember if I watched all of them, but I do have the gist of the general story. And yeah, like it's one of the few games that I've like watched some of the cinematic stuff of.
Okay, for me, it's interestingly enough, I actually never watched like the gameplay or played the game. However, I read Tom Taylor's Injustice: Gods Among Us comic book, which was meant to be kind of like a prequel to the game, and that graphic novel was absolutely fantastic. You guys know I'm in love with Tom Taylor and his work, but like. Yo, that comic like was hella dope, and you guys would love it. I know you guys would love it. So for me, to be honest, I haven't been watching any of the animated movies for a long time. Like I hated all the New 52. Basically, the last one I enjoyed was Flashpoint Paradox, and after that, I think I watched like 2 or 3 more of the New 52 ones, and I gave up. So I was going to try out Hush, but my bro Tactix had my back on that one and just told me not to do that to myself. So I appreciate that.
It's fucking trash. It's such ass, man.
Oh my god,
you would hate it.
I probably would I'd probably like go crazy. So like this one, if they adapt it well, I will be interested in seeing it. But like I haven't been watching any of the new animated stuff that's come out, like with Justice League Dark or all that sort of stuff. So to be honest, I'm probably not going to watch the Long Halloween, only because I don't want like it to ruin my very strong feelings towards the comic. As you guys know, I love the comic. So yeah, if one of you guys see it and let me know it's good, then I'll definitely check it out. But like with Injustice, I'm just going to continue my trend of staying clear of DC animated films.
That's right.
I'm not excited for this. I have, again, like the 2 recent new stylized ones that they're doing. That new Superman one, which I cannot remember the name of, and then the new World War II one. I like this new style one. The Darks one, whatever, had a cool battle at the end, but that's about as much I'm going to say for it. Like the end battle was cool. There's a lot of stuff I didn't like about it, but that just there's like a big was like anytime you have a good fight with Darkseid, it's good. So like
Yeah.
just the fight itself. But yeah, I'm like, I'll watch this, but it's gonna be COVID watching. Like, oh, that's out today. Cool.
T?
Yeah, I concur with both of you guys, man. I'm so behind on a lot of the animated stuff that has come out, like just because none of it has really been all that appealing to me, and I haven't heard any of you guys talking about it, so it really hasn't enticed me to check any of these out. And it's unfortunate because I really loved a lot of the old stuff, like Under the Red Hood and Flashpoint Paradox. You know what I mean? All those were really solid, and then we're slowly seeing a decline in production and quality of these cartoons, and so it leaves me a little bit underwhelmed, to say the least. So yeah, I don't know. I'll probably check it out reluctantly, but yeah, I'm not all that intrigued. I mean, I already like if they can make it at least at like somewhat similar to that of the game, and I hear people talking about it, and it's like, oh, it's just like the game, but it's like way better. They add a little bit more stuff that actually enhances the storyline. Then that might entice me to want to check it out. But otherwise, I'm with you guys. I'm not that interested.
Cool. And our last geeky news that kind of came out just recently is that Henry Cavill is currently being like approached or rumored to be either the lead or one of the leads in the Highlanders remake movie, the reboot of the first Highlander movie. Actually, let me first ask you guys, did either of you watch the first Highlander movie? Were you a fan of the series at all?
I was a big fan of the television show. And I know I seen the original movie, but I mean, I didn't even hit puberty yet, so I'm not going to tell you I can remember it. Like, that's just facts right there, okay? But actually, my mom and I used to watch the Highlander TV show together. Like
that's really so dope.
Yeah, because during that time it was like the two of us, and there was a lot of different random stuff that we used to like watch, and yeah, that was one of the shows that like I remember watching with her. And even though like it's one of those shows like I won't watch it now because I know that it'll ruin every positive memory I have because it won't hold up like the effects and stuff like that. True. It's definitely something that I'm like, this is dope. And I'm like looking at pictures of like Henry Cavill compared to the original actor. I'm like, yeah, you look way more fitting for this role. Like, you look way more believable as the like ultimate like immortal. Like you just like, and clearly ever since his recent movie in as what was it called? The
Witcher. That's a series.
The series. Yeah, The Witcher. Like he's gonna get a whole bunch of sword stuff in the coming future because he's trained on swords. He's very serious about his training in general, and he's a super big geek, right? Yeah. So like people give him opportunities with a sword. I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised if we see a renaissance around like medieval times type stuff. We've always had a threat of it, but I wouldn't be surprised if this and Henry Cavill kind of spark a new like investment in the medieval times, because I don't feel like, even though we've had it kind of constant, I feel like there was an era when I was young, there was like medieval, and I feel like we could see another one of that just off of him, because I think he's got that kind of power, right? In the movie industry, and I think he's just been held back because of WB over the last few years. Like, what's going to happen with Superman, and everybody kind of waiting around. Like, he's done a lot of good work, but I feel like he probably could have done more work if WB wasn't kind of like, everyone felt like they were waiting to see what was going to happen with him and Superman.
T, how about you?
I was a fan of the TV series theme song. I am immortal. I have inside me blood of king. Yeah, like that was my shit. But after the theme song was done, I was like, click on to the next thing. So yeah, I wasn't into the show, man. Highlander was not my shit. I'm sorry. Anything medieval just didn't really do it for me back then, man. I was a very simple-minded kid. I just wanted superhero shit. and Goosebumps. That's it. That was
you wanted superhero shit, but you avoided Superman.
Well, yeah. My scope of superhero dumb was like Batman, Spider-Man, and I think that was it, or Static Shock, and that was like the extent of my superhero watching experience.
You should have Highlander in there, because when your parents have control of the remote and you want to watch that superhero stuff and they're like, you're not watching no cartoon, you'd be like, Highlander then.
It wasn't really.
What are your thoughts of this movie then?
Hard pass for me. I know nothing about it, so I'm pretty much going in blind. So it doesn't really do any. Like I can understand them bringing it back and like it catering to fans of the series because it goes so far back, or even the movie. But yeah, for me, it just, I don't know, it doesn't really intrigue me all that much, to be honest. I know that's going to hurt a lot of geek fans out here, but sorry, man, I'm just not with it, yo.
I actually wouldn't mind seeing him watching this one and being like, yo, what's this?
Yeah. This is the greatest show ever.
I didn't fully understand what that meant. Like, what's this? I don't understand what that meant. I was like, is that good or bad?
It would be ambiguous. But like for me, I watched the series as well, and also watched the movies. I fully admit that like those things do not hold up because like I think I was like flipping through my like on demand, and Highlander the series was there. I'm like, oh, let's watch this. That was a bad idea.
Yeah,
and then on top of which, I recently saw the original movie, and also, I recently saw the original movie, and I'm like, oh my god, I used to think these guys were good sword fighters, and I'm like, ooh, and it was interesting because what's his name? The guy who voices Lex Luthor, Clancy Brown, he was the main bad guy in that, and I was like, Clancy. Okay.
There's a lot of opportunity here, though. Like, because I don't remember all the deep lore, but fundamentally, it's a very simple premise. You're gonna have a bunch of guys sword fight for ultimate power, and they get stronger. And I don't think they ever really highlighted how strong people were. It was just kind of like, this guy's much stronger because this guy sucks with the sword, and this guy doesn't. Right? And I'm like, that's not really a power of immortality. That's just called skill. Like, this motherfucker didn't practice. That's what that is. like you've been alive for 200 years. I know you just been going and sleeping with people. You've not been doing the work. Like you've not been putting in your reps.
But I actually, it's funny you should say that because I think that actually was a topic of conversation because like I think the oldest immortal was like 5,000 years old, and they're like, "Yo, this guy's after you because he wants your power. Yo, how's your sword arm?" It's like, "Yeah, I haven't killed anyone in like over 200 years," and they're like, "Fuck," and they're like, "You haven't been practicing in 200 years."
It's like, but I got like 4,500 years of experience. It'll come back. Don't worry. But I just think that like I feel like with where movies are now in terms of physicality, right? With choreo, with stunts, and Henry Cavill being an epitome of like an actor who will jump in and do a hell lot of that stuff, right? I just think that there's like they could take the basic original premise, leave a lot of stuff out. They don't have to go so hardcore to the lore. Just get the right notes, and they could just make it like a fun action film and make a series out of it. And I think it could be big if they don't get caught up in trying to emulate something that shouldn't be emulated from the originals.
Yo, for me, I kind of like want them to like treat the immortals like super soldiers, like they that level strong, and they just like sword fighting the shit out of it. And I'm like, yo, that's cool.
Like the anime, like the two swords clash and like the wind starts going out, and everybody else is like, y'all motherfuckers see this right here? Like putting their swords down, like, nah, I ain't doing this.
I am interested to see how they're going to do the quickening with the like lightning. I'm just like, that was cheesy even back then, and the entire series, like every episode, this guy had to like be electrocuted and like, and I'm like. Like I'm actually looking forward to see if they're going to keep that in this new one.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I'm like Google. Oh, that's like after you take take the power.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
how did you forget that? That was like that was like every ending of every episode.
Sorry, no. I didn't forget it, but when you said it, I was thinking of it like two guys powering up before the fight, and it's like, whoa, and then I'm thinking of people standing in the background like, what is going on?
All right. Well, I actually would really like to see a Tactix' like completely brand new set of eyes on this film, just to see like his reaction to it. But
the new film or going back in time and
no, oh, dude, I won't do that to you. I won't do that to you.
I wouldn't do that to myself, man. I've seen the trailers, bro.
No. I won't. I'm not going to.
Shit looks like it was edited on Windows Movie Maker, man.
Oh man, I've seen one picture of the quickening, and the facial expression reminds me of Damian Wayne in Scary Movie when he like blows his load. Like, it's just so bad.
Oh,
too far.
Speaking of Tactix' reaction to old school things, I want to actually do a touch base with Tactix because viewers and listeners, he has recently started rewatching Buffy the Vampire Slayer on Netflix, right?
Prime, I think.
On Prime. So I checked in with him last week, and let's just say that Tactix was not enjoying the first season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but I'll let him tell you guys. So T, how are things going in summer in Sunnydale?
Yo, I executed a lot of constraint in terms of messaging you after every episode of how fucking trash this whole season was, man. I was picking this shit apart like there was no tomorrow. I was like unbelievably bad, man. Yeah, it made me question my taste back then because I was like watching this because I remember back then I used to love the show, but I realized that I think I skipped the first season back then and I just caught on because back then you couldn't stream shit, right? It was just a matter of like if you were home when it came on, then you were lucky enough to watch it all the way through. And then I never bought any of the DVDs or anything like that, right? So I was always dependent on being home at the time when it aired. So upon going back, I realized I missed the entire first season because I did not remember it being as shitty and atrocious as it was. Because I'm like, where did they go to acting school? Like, this is really bad. Like, it's so forced. It's like no one's even like committing, or they overcommit and they forget like what show they're on. And it's just like there's so many like fucking continuity errors as well. I even sent you one from season 2 just before we went on air. So it was just like, yeah, like the show definitely does not age well, but I will say that season 2 got progressively better. It's still the acting's still fucking whack as shit, but
really,
yeah. I mean, the mom, she's had some really cringeworthy lines.
I hear that.
Nobody messes with my daughter. I'm like, nobody fucking says that. Like, shut up. Like, that's not something that people say. And then I think the only person I really like right now on season 2 that I'm like actually buying into is Spike and Drusilla.
Yo,
Drusilla even more so because she's not wrapped too tight, and I'm like, I kind of like what she's doing with it. Like, she's very like loony, and like you can tell she's having fun with it or whatever. So like, she's a very interesting character. Spike I enjoy just because of how out there he is and how menacing. But again, like some of it just doesn't make. I'm like, you're a vampire, you're getting your ass kicked, and then you're just running away. That scene like where he gets hit by the mom, and it's really just the mom and Buffy. And at that time, he was kicking Buffy's ass. And then the mom sneaks up behind him, hits him over the head. He's fine. He gets up and he runs away. And I'm like, you're a vampire. Are you forgetting that you're dead? These people can't hurt you. Buffy has a chance, but you were already whooping her ass. Just kill the mom and be done with it. Like, I don't... it didn't make any sense to me. So I don't want to go off on too much of a tangent because Darcy, I'm sure, hasn't seen it in a while or at all. I don't know, but yeah, it is progressive. It progressively got better. Angel's the most useless character on the show.
I was actually waiting for you to say something about it.
He's the Martian Manhunter of this show, man. Like, he's fucking useless as shit. He does nothing. He basically shows up at the most inconvenient time, and he's just like, "Yo, Buffy, you're in danger." And she's like, yeah, I already know that." It's like, "Oh, okay, cool. Well, I'll just stand by the sidelines and do absolutely nothing and watch you get your ass kicked." And like what? What's your purpose here?
He's like
useless.
He's like Edward Collins.
It's like he's just there, man.
He's Edward Collins before the Edward Collins. Like, he's like Edward Collins in the crime fighting series. Doesn't actually do it.
So, but like, what about the side characters like Xander, Willow, and Giles?
I fucking hate Xander. Xander needs to. He needs to die. He's very bad. Yeah, you know who he reminds me of? He kind of reminds me of what's his name? Umar. He reminds me of you. He reminds me of you.
What? Yo, you gonna play me like that?
I love how like Umar, and it's like who you trying to help me with? It's you.
He even kind of dresses like you. I'm not gonna lie, bro. He dresses like you,
or maybe we figured out who Umar's emulating because this is one of my favorite shows of all time.
Bro. No fucking way.
It's like a combination. You're a combination of Xander and Ross. It's like if they had a baby, they give birth to you, bro.
Oh my god, that universal crossover between these two shows.
Why'd you throw in Niles Crane while you're at it too, bro?
Yo, it's like, I mean, don't make it worse on yourself.
This is bullshit. I do not accept this. I am not a Xander.
Wow.
No, I'll fuck with you, bro.
Yeah.
I'll fuck with you. Yeah, I do not like Xander at all. Back then, I considered him kind of like the wholesome character, the best friend. I guess he kind of reminds me of you because of like his best friends are female. Like he's always hanging out with women. So
okay, I'll take that.
Yeah, Willow, I enjoy it for what she's given. I think she's solid. She's consistent. She's not super annoying. Cordelia, like her lines are terrible. I'm like, but I don't know. I'm like, I've never been around girls that were just like that in terms of like not even like Valley. I wouldn't consider her Valley, but she's a fucking airhead. Like she's very self-absorbed, and I'm like, do I know girls like that?
She's typical Valley girl / like airhead. She's a perfect.
Yeah. But I feel like I remember her getting better.
She did,
especially when she transitioned to Angel. I think she got a little bit better. She was a little bit more tame. Buffy, I don't remember her being like this in terms of like being so into like high school and like the cheerleading shit and all that stuff. I remember her from like being super mature and like being like fucking like on the nail, like, you know, very, very, very serious. I actually I got to the episode where they introduce Kendra, the Jamaican vampire slayer, who's less Jamaican and more Irish. Like that Jamaican accent is not working for me, bro. Like she's like, me the vampire slayer. I'm like, that's not Jamaican. Like in the 90s it was. It doesn't sound like she wants to hunt vampires. It sounds like she wants to hunt Lucky Charms, bro. Like that's not a Jamaican accent at all.
Yo, that is like my Jamaican accent. Every time I try to do it, I cannot. I like there's like either too much Irish in me, or I grew up around the wrong people. But like every time I've tried, I'm like, nope.
Bro, Darcy, you got to YouTube Kendra, the Vampire Slayer, and just listen to the monstrosity of this accent. I think there was a There's an article that I was reading because I'm like, they can't seriously be trying to pass this off as a Jamaican accent. And apparently the rumor is that they literally told her that they needed her to perform a Jamaican accent the day of shooting. So she was like going in thinking, oh, I'm just going to talk regularly. And they're like, nah, we're putting a little twist on it. And we want you to be Jamaican. And she's like, but I'm American. It's like, oh, well, figure it out.
Yeah, but they were like, but Jocelyn was like, but you're black.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's actually the scary thing.
Tap into that shit.
Yeah, it's like, and I was like, I'm sorry, but like, if you want me to be ghetto, it's a little easier than for me to be a completely actually accent that has a whole language and authenticity to it that needs a dialect coach compared to, something that we all kind of know because we live in the same country.
Yeah, it's bad.
But by the way, I was Googling because like I don't remember all of these characters, and I was Googling Xander, and he also looks like he comes from a similar circle as Joss Whedon. I'm like, oh, let me look at pictures, ha ha ha, and then I'm like, mugshot. What happened?
He's had a pretty rough after Buffy time.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He became an addict.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
He is an addict, and like he got arrested too.
It just feels like nobody came in and out of Buffy unscathed. Is the way to put it.
Yeah.
Like that experience seems to be bad.
Except for Giles.
Well,
Giles is fine.
I'm gonna have to Google it. But when it comes to Buffy, I'll just throw my 2 cents.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I feel like I liked the premise and then never liked the execution. Right, like what the show set up, I was like, "Oh, this is intriguing," and then I watched episodes and I got bored, and then I wouldn't watch it for a long time. And then I'd see an episode and I'd be like, watch for maybe 1 or 2, and then I get bored.
You probably started at season 1. That's why.
I agree with that. I feel like I remember a similar feeling, and I also feel like I had the same feeling later in the show. Like I was never really into it. I feel like what Tactix said about feeling forced is the thing that stood out to me. But yeah, I'm sorry to like we rein in hard on the Umar parade because he loved this show back in the day.
And to be honest, I still love the show. Like I do recognize first season is rough, and it's literally the season first season and last season are the ones that I've watched the least. And I love season 2. I love season 3. Season 4 was kind of okay for me. Season 5 picked up a little bit, and then season 6 dropped it, and then season 7 just like killed it for me. So I was like, cool, but I was watching Angel at the same time, so I was loving that. So yeah, like for me, like I'm actually thoroughly enjoying these reviews from both of you. But yeah, so enough with Buffy. I want to transition.
Wait, hold on. One more question. Question. Did you watch the movie? Did you ever watch the movie?
I watched the original. Yeah. That was trash. That was such trash.
That was a hard watch.
Oh, that was an absolute hard watch. And I watched it in the 90s.
Yeah, that one came first, right? The movie came first, and then they yeah.
Is it like Doom level bad movie? Have y'all ever seen Doom?
I saw Doom. I would say Doom is actually better.
That is horrible.
I just realized Doom and Get Smart are like the 2 films The Rock has been the villain in, and those are probably the only times he ever was a villain.
Yeah, I think
I just like that line that he Cap of 5, motherfucker. And he's just like, and then he just morphs into the zombie or what?
Yeah,
like I was like, man, that was hilarious.
All right, so transitioning to our final topic today. I was having a conversation with Tactix yesterday that kind of made me think of something that I haven't really asked anyone. So I'm going to ask you guys. We were talking about like whether the super soldier serum, if it were given to us, would we react? Would we become like a Steve Rogers, or would we become like a Carly, or would we turn into a John Walker? But then I started thinking about it. I'm like, realistically, what supervillains do you identify with that you can even see yourself becoming? So I have my answer, but I actually want to ask you guys first. Like Darcy, whichever you want to go first. Which supervillain or villain in villain? It doesn't have to be a supervillain. which one do you see yourself becoming if you
I'm
would have that?
I'm gonna take the lead here, and I'm gonna throw it back to you. You going first? I literally, my preparation time is I just read this before you started talking about it.
Bro, I was like, wait, this is a question?
I'll put it in the chat.
I already know.
I missed that completely.
I know that both Tax and I need a second. That's why I'm throwing it right back to you.
I was like, you're like, I'm going first. I'm like, oh shit, Darcy's got one, and he's like, you go. I'm like, oh.
That's why I got excited, because I'm like, yes, I have time to think.
Yeah, I already knew you needed it, and I'm like, no, let's just both the time to think here.
Okay, I'll go first. I would say, to be honest, the supervillain I can see myself becoming or very much identify with is Magneto. Like, granted, like, I haven't experienced anything close to the kind of trauma that he's experienced, but like his anger and his like getting lost in his anger, and also over political point of views, and also like the treatment of people, and also how humanity will react to certain things, and his lack of hope, especially for things in terms of like political aspects, I can really identify that with. And also like seeing how, you know, the world, especially now that you know, BLM and like Me Too and all that sort of stuff, those things have come out, and we've seen just how much, to what degree it's happening on a constant level. I can see myself getting as angry and fired up, and given powers, power corrupts after all, and like I could see myself going down like a I wouldn't say zealotry, but like I can definitely see myself going down like that type of path where it's like, yo, I gotta save everybody, and I gotta destroy the destructive order. And hence why I think that if I got the super soldier serum, I think I would go down the Carly route, to be honest. But like, you know, that could just be me being like hard on myself. Anyway, I hope that gave you guys a little bit of time. And Tactix, Darcy, which one of you want to take it?
Yo, I'm balling it over to you, Tactix. It's over to you,
man. Shit, man. Okay, gun to my head. Gotta think on the spot, because thanks, Umar.
I put it in the chat.
Yo, what's that? What's the villain's name from The Incredibles?
Syndrome?
Yeah, I think I'd be. I didn't have prep time, okay? What the fuck? You want from me, man?
He's Batman. He can beat anybody as long as he's got prep time.
Yeah, but that dude was kind of like, he was like in his feelings a lot, and I feel like that was his motivation. And I think that if I was to become a villain, it would be something on some like sensitive shit where I'm like really in my feelings, and then like, you know, I'd be like, yo, fuck that guy.
But that got me.
I'm being honest, man. I'm keeping it real, bro. Like, I'm just keeping it real. Like, I'm working on my sensitivity and shit. You know what I mean? But like, if I was to become a villain right now, before that work had its time to come to fruition, I might do some syndrome-y shit. You know what I mean? Like, I might become him, and then you know, express my power through my emotions, and that emotion would be rage and insecurity and shit. That sounded hella sexual. I didn't mean it to be like that, but like that's, you know, like I'm not out here like Highlander jerking off on top of the Empire State Building over top of people or anything. Not like that. But yeah, I think that'd be syndrome.
Watch
what that? No, Highlander? Sorry, not Highlander. Homelander.
Oh, I was like, I don't recall that happening in the original film.
Yeah. It's like, I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Tactics, too much, too far, bro.
Too much? Oh, okay, I'll slow it down.
Okay, Darcy.
Yo, I'm about to quit this podcast right now. I do not need to look up. I'm like Googling, trying to get a good answer, look up. I'm like, I do not need to see that. Deadshot.
Oh shit.
For me, like I'm in the anti-hero kind of space. And I feel like I'd have to be somebody with reasoning, and as much as it might also feel like a slight cop-out, it's kind of the similar reasoning as what Will Smith was trying to articulate as the way he took the character, regardless of execution of final film. Like for me, it's like I like Deadshot and Deathstroke, like how they kind of like fit into things, but I feel like I line up closer with Deadshot, more like methodical, even keel, strategic, and stuff like that. Quick on the feet, like quick thoughts in the moment, and I'm a pretty good shot. So so like I have pretty good hand-eye coordination from years and years of like playing first-person shooters and then actually picking up like a paintball gun. But yeah, no, I just feel like there's if you say like who I feel like I'm most similar to and kind of where I'd probably land, it's a character that like when I've seen them portrayed often, I kind of like, yep. I get their reasoning and I kind of agree with their decision-making process. I never really like feel like completely like yeah, you and I don't get along. Like I feel like I could be like, if I was stuck in a similar situation, I feel like, yeah, I would line up with that. It's a Deadshot. Okay. And I milked all that time. And speaking of milking, Tactix, I hate you right now.
All right then. Well,
before you made a joke, I had to make something.
All right then. Well, there we are. If you guys do think by the next podcast of like a better, more a better villain that, well, especially for Tactix, please feel free to let us know. But as of right now,
yeah, my answer sucked, everybody. I'm sorry. I didn't have enough prep time. Like, I didn't know this was a question that was going to be asked today.
It is good to know that like when you're like caught on like when you're on the ropes, like your go-to is just to start masturbating.
Hey,
wow,
isn't that everyone's go-to?
The end of this podcast.
Bro, I don't have any. What do you want from me, guy? I didn't get any floor puss today, so. Oh.
I apologize to all of our listeners.
Yeah. On that note,
I meant that shit.
Yo, you might as well just be Deadpool at this point.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hell yeah, that's mine. Deadpool.
and redeemed. He's Deadpool. That's why this episode's so far off the even keel.
All right.
Maximum effort.